Oh, hello there. Craig Warrack here. Thanks for joining me. You can see I've just received some post. And I've just come home from work as well. That's why I'm dressed like this. It's not because I think you're special and I need to make an effort. But yeah, anyway, I've been off work for a while and I always get everything delivered to my work because it's open 24/7 and the postman has got no excuse for not leaving it. So when I return to work, I've got these great figure hauls to look forward to. So I'm going to be taking a look at some of the haul I've got today, and we'll be getting back to some customs later on. But first of all, I have a confession to make. I'm 34 years old and I have been gay for 34 of those years, and in all my life I have never ever received anything quite as gay as this. This, you probably can't make it out, has an ACBA sticker on it. Now, Boog Nice, thanks for this, but are you teasing me? So rather than say package, I'll say package. Love it. Mwah. Thanks, Boog. Let's open these up and take a look at what's inside. So before we take a look in the big package that Boog Nice sent me, let's take a look at what was in some of the smaller ones. Here we have some fodder I've got. Yeah, Savage Dragon and one leg. What I'm after here is the hands. Hopefully Pile Driver from Marvel Legends Series 2 will be coming soon and I can replace his gloved hands with these. Painted, of course. So that's what I've got him for. His face is also quite useful in other customs once you take the fin off. So he's good fodder. Thanks very much. Day Johnson sent him to me. And then got this from a Chinese seller. It's the Golden Pharaoh. Not much of a DCUC collector, but I do love their head sculpts. They're really useful. And I think this guy, I may need some work around the eyes, might make a decent Iceman. He looks kind of, you know, he's not overly happy, but he is kind of cheery. And, yeah, plain face. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for there. And also these things like loincloths and all that are useful fodder pieces to have. So, yep, here's another fodder piece. Something that isn't for fodder, at least, well, to be honest, everything ends up fodder at the end of the day, is Spiral. She's one of the few Marvel Legends that I think Hasbro did well before they had to shut down and then relaunch the whole thing. I've not had a good play with her here. She suffers a bit from Hasbrotosis, which is a deficiency in the paint apps. It's very serious, and yeah, you should go and see your doctor as soon as possible if you do feel you have those symptoms. But, oh, it comes off. Look at that, flat hair. Now, Spiral, I believe your name is Rita. Just in general fashion terms, it's all about the silhouette, dear. So really, this flat hairstyle, I know it's helmet hair, but really, I don't know. So she's looking pretty good. See what I mean about Hasbrotosis? Look at that plain grey arm. That needs a wash. And she's got these swords, and this one is, it's just fallen down. But anyway, let's get on to the main event. Let's just pause for a moment so that we can truly appreciate this package. I think it's simply fabulous, don't you? I mean, just the, you know, the pattern itself is just darling. And then to, you know, finish it off with this lovely floral sticker. Boog knows me so well, so well. Thanks, Boog, darling. You're a sweetie. Okay, let's get this sucker open. Behold the contents of Boog's pink box. Ta-da! Just make sure there's nothing else in there. Fantastic. It's Marvel Legends Series 2, the Arnim Zola wave, or whatever we want to call it. And I am pure delighted to see that book has included the Tales of Arnim Zola. Now that might, seem like an everyday kind of normal thing, but when we got the Marvel Legends figures here in the UK, they got rid of the Tales of Drax, so I will never know that story. I feel cheated. I really do. And that part of my life will always be an empty shell. But here I can fill my shell with the Tale of Arnim Zola. So let's take a quick look at who we've got here. Bucky Cap, FF SpiderMan, Daken. And I actually have a degree in Japanese, so I'm not going to call it Daken. Nah, Daken. Even though, even in Japanese, the name is stupid. Madame Masque. Hey Whitney. Drax the Destroyer. Thunderball. Phantom X, or in French, Phantom X. That's a terrible French accent there. As terrible as his. And his Build-A-Figure, until I build it, I'm not too sure what it's going to be. I hope he's included instructions. I'm not sure I'll be able to work that out by myself. Oh well, let's get on with it, eh? First up, we have Captain America. Hi Cap, how are you? Now, I've watched a few reviews of this guy online and everyone says he's great. Well, I've got news for you. He is... what a really good figure. This is, yeah, I don't... I'm a bit speechless. I think he's a really great quality figure. A lot of new bits going on with him. Something that, if I had to criticise, would be the... whatchamacallit? The metallic sort of blue isn't quite as metallic as I had hoped, and it's not really that, it's more that it doesn't really match from head to chest to shoulders. It's not the same kind of blue, but that's a really minor thing. His face sculpt is good. Hasbro really been doing much better with... This isn't blood on my fingernail, by the way. It's well, it's not my blood anyway. It's red paint. Yep, he's looking really good. Something that I do notice is that it's probably too much to expect, but the sculpt, the more detail the sculpt does, they can't quite paint it right, so his flesh colour does go into his mask a little there. But apart from that, his knife is removable and goes well in his hand. And his pistol as well fits well in the holster. It's kind of big, and I expect that's that belt's going to hinder his articulation a little, but not too bad all around. The shield, I think we've seen the shield on Steve Rogers, the Super Soldier, and it works well with this guy as well. Works better with Bucky Cap than it does with Steve, because Bucky Cap actually has a shield. And there we have him. So yeah, he's really, really good. Something that I do enjoy about the return of Marvel Legends is that their heads all pop off really easily, and that's really useful for customizers. And it's probably something that Hasbro are doing because for their own benefit, because they just want to build a library of bodies and then pop different unique heads on them. But it lets us, play around with things. So we've got the Winter Soldier. So what you can do is you can pop off Cap's head, and then you can pop off the Winter Soldier's head, and then you can, just create your own sort of customs. Like this one here, which spoils the end of Avengers vs X-Men. This is the final outcome of it. So if you were invested in that, sorry I've spoiled it for you. But this is what happens at the end. Hope you enjoy the series nonetheless. There we are. Who's next? Next up we have Dark Wolverine, or Daken, or Daken, or whatever you want to call him basically, because it's a silly name. Dark Wolverine. Incidentally, I'm from Scotland, and here in Scotland we use the word ken to mean know. For example, do you ken the time? Or do you ken the time? Do you know the time? And his name in Scottish slang is Daken, which means don't know. Do you ken the time? No, a Daken. There we are, language lesson for you. Here we have Dark Wolverine, and I'm actually liking him. Wasn't expecting to like him at all, because really, I don't know, never been too fond of the character. Although I did enjoy the story where he chopped the Punisher up into tiny pieces. Straight away, a little bit disappointed he doesn't have the third claw, but it's not too bad. It's still nice that they did give him 2 claws. They didn't just completely repaint a Wolverine. And he's got a nice cowl piece. And take a look at his head, because let's face it, it's probably the only new part, apart from the hands, that we're really looking at here. I really like the head, actually. I think a lot of people, there's the masked version as well, and a lot of people were kind of disappointed that he wasn't like growling. And actually I think Daken is more of a calm, calculating killer as opposed to the berserker that his father is. So I like this sort of stern but collected face. I think it suits him. Something I'm not loving is this. What? Can you glue that in place, please? Do I have to do it? Is that what you're asking me to do, Hasbro? In general though, very, very nice figure. And as a side note, there's some discussion about this guy's sexuality. He has been portrayed in the comics as having it off with both men and women to get his own way. Does that make him bisexual or what? We don't really know. Marvel probably won't go into it because it was enough effort for them to deal with the letters page when these characters came out, so they're not about to make the son of Wolverine, blatantly, openly gay or bisexual or anything other than the standard superhero sexuality. And there we have him. Anyway, he's a really nice looking figure. Again, he's got the head pop off thing, so that Hasbro can pop it off, put another head on, and then sell you it again, instead of just putting the other head in the box. But still, as long as they're making figures as good as this, I don't really mind. Oh, forgot to really go into there. His tattoo looks pretty clean. That is very admirable. That's really, really well done. Nice and crisply coloured. Great looking. Here we have Marvel's Madames. This is a neat little name for both Madame Masque and Madame Hydra, the Viper, her running change mate. But if you're going to actually change the whole figure that's in the toy packaging, then you could probably change the nameplate that goes into Lazy. Okay, so here we have Madame Masque. She's, you know what, I'm getting a bit sick of the body. Shield Agent, Black Widow. Well, I suppose, it's more the Shield Agent because Black Widow had the cleavage. And really that's about it, with new gloves. Better hands. I never did like the Shield Agent hands. They looked really grotesquely huge. Again, that belt riding up all over the place. That belt's new because it takes her golden gun, which is a nice little touch, Hasbro. Thank you. That's really, I know it's the same gun we've seen on countless figures, but for you to actually do it gold, it's a nice nod towards the character. Her face is kind of soft. I'm not really, feeling it. The mask is just a bit nonplussed. Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what to say about it. And the gold is lackluster. It just doesn't really pop out. The hair itself is also a bit I don't know, she just doesn't look very glamazon, to be honest. She's kind of dowdy or something. That's Madame Masque. A character I did like back in the Avengers Volume 3, when she was a neurotic, sort of man-hating, paranoid weirdo. And then, I don't know, when they did the sort of New Avengers, she became the Hood's girlfriend, and that's all she really was. You know, she had problems dealing with Pepper Potts, for God's sake. So yeah, all in all though, that's a good figure. It's just the female body that, you know, Hasbro have been praised for, but don't rely too much on that, guys. Do try something new, please. And here we have SpiderMan in his Future Foundation, First Family, FF, whatever you want to call them, costume. This costume is a favourite of mine. I really do like it. I think the artist who redesigned the Fantastic Four costumes into the FF costumes did a really amazing job, and that even when they can do sort of a radical design like this that doesn't really share much with the other FF costumes, it still looks like an FF costume. I think that's part of the genius of the design work on that team. And surprisingly, this is one of the figures that I was looking forward to the most. I'm not too sure why. I think it's just so stark and eye-catching, the black and white. It looks really good on the figure, and it's all very clean. It's got that, you know, this, look at that. It's just really, really well done. It's a plain white figure with the black sprayed onto it, but the masking has all been done very well. Very, very good. I was partly kind of hoping I would get the big time Spider-Man, just so I could piss myself laughing at it. But I'm really much happier that I've got this guy. His web shooting hand looks a bit big, but apart from that, not bad at all. This is the bullseye body, which we've already seen in this wave with Dakin. But I don't think I've seen it on a Spider-Man before, and it looks pretty good on him. Pretty good. Something that annoys me about the bullseye body is they can never quite get the crotch. They always seem to be wearing big granny pants. See how it's bigger than the waist? Kind of annoys me. Not majorly, but again, I'll complain about anything. The head is really good. Loving that sculpted look. They could easily have just done a blank head and just painted the eyes on, because they've really got it down with the mask on the spray. But I love it that they've gone with the sculpted head. Love that. Great stuff. And here we have Marvel's Drax, joining Marvel's Claw as one of Marvel's legends. It's Marvel's Drax. And here he is. Fooled ya. No, it's not. Here he is. This is a custom I made ages ago. Hi. Is he going to get removed from my shelf? Let's find out, shall we? Okay, Drax the Destroyer. He's looking pretty good. Really like the face. Really captures this version of Drax, I feel, which is a preferred version for me. I like this version much better than the big giant Hulk, Space Hulk flying about firing energy blasts version. There's nothing really wrong with that, but it's, you know, that kind of power set is 10 a penny out in the cosmic Marvel arena. But I really liked this version because it brought him right down. He was more of a badass, I suppose, which is unusual for me to like. He would just use his knives and his strength to really kill his foes. Although when he did finally face up to Thanos in an Annihilation, he did exhibit some sort of energy powers. I cannot get the knife in there. Do you notice that? Isn't that weird? Yeah, so let's look at the figure. He's looking good. This is a new body for the most part. Well, actually it's the Shield Agent body, isn't it? New forearms with a sculpted bandage and banding and knife in there. Some slop on painting the knife. Not a big deal. Better than me. I didn't, I just did that. Lazy Craig Warrack, effort-filled Hasbro. And what's changed? His lower leg. He has a trouser. Look at that. Isn't that marvellous? He can wear trousers. His feet don't do a hole. Well, they do actually. They're not bad at all. And I like the boots. And I think people are thinking this is going to be used for Luke Cage. And it could well be. Arms are a bit wimpy, I think, but all in all, he's looking pretty good. His knives, here we have them. They're quite detailed. Nicely done. I do have some problems getting them into his fists though, but his fists are a softer rubber, so I will be able to work them in there. I just don't particularly want to bore the spare tits off you while I do that. But tough luck, I've just bored the spare tits off you. So there we have Drax the Destroyer. Looking pretty awesome. I think my Drax will stay on my custom shelf because I made him back in 2007 and I was quite proud of him at the time. Still think he's got better trousers, to be honest. I like my trousers better because it's supposed to be that glossy black leather, not this faded blue shit he's got on. Anyway, moan. That's Drax. Marvel's Drax. Okay, Marvel's Drax, go and make out with Marvel's Claw. This character doesn't need any introduction. It's the Marvel Legends trench coat. Welcome back, Marvel Legends trench coat. Where have you been? That's right, you've not been gone that long. Actually, this is Phantom X. This is a character that when he first appeared in New X-Men, I fucking loathed him so much. Oh, he was just designed to be so awesome at everything. He just was, God-modelled. Boring. But then, years later, he turned up in Uncanny X-Force, and I actually grew to like him. I thought he was one of the standout characters, until recently when he was in Uncanny X-Force, had that Captain Britain sort of story. It was just so bad, and it just put me off the whole series. But anyway, let's talk about the figure. Here we have Phantom X, and his mutant power is being able to hit his target despite not being able to hold his guns at the right angle. I don't quite know what they were up to here. It's just... There's his arm pointing straight and his gun's pointing down the way. I don't know, and it's the same for the other one. I'm not too bothered about gun-wielding characters anyway. He's got holsters, I can put them in. That'll look cool. Now, let me have a look at the body inside. Oh, I don't think I've seen this body before. Is this, someone help me out here, is this the 2-pack Wolverine and Forge body? It's alright. The legs are quite spindly. And they seem quite warped or something. They just look too small as they go towards the bottom. Anyway, the perennial coat saves that. Something that I did like about Phantom X when I first saw him was his character design. I thought it was simple, plain white, striking. When it came to be an Uncanny X-Force, their colour scheme is black and white, so I think they kind of thought, oh, well, we need to put some black on him. Let's put black zigzags all up and down him. Can anyone sort of tell me why he's got black zigzags? I mean, what are they meant to be? Is it lightning? I thought, when I first saw it, oh, it's like the X, but it's not. It doesn't join up. I don't really get the design, to be honest. I think it's an unnecessary complication on the really simple and striking design. But apart from that, This figure is nice. Let's take a look at the face. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I actually really like it. I really like the way it's different from, for example, SpiderMan's. You know, that's just this smooth sort of thing, which I like, because this is an unstable molecules costume, and it's just you know, something that I think the Fantastic Four would be able to defy the rules of the universe. But this one, although Weapon Plus project, he's Weapon 13, isn't he? Could probably match Reed Richards. I do like that the mask has these stretch lines on it, and there is an indication of mouth behind there. The eyes and face itself, alright. Kind of sloppy though, around the edges of the mask there, but not bad at all. Again, the black on the white is very crisp looking, very striking, but just not a design I like. I understand you can take the coat off him, but I'm not, you know, too keen on that. I guess it does look kind of stupid that, you know, he has got a coat on, but yet the arms are blatantly not jacketed arms. It's just skin tight lycra, so it looks like he's got cut off arms on his trench coat, a bit like a bad guy out Final Fight. But there we have him. He's a pretty good figure, and the X is clean, which is very important. Oof, look at the size of this. It's Marvel's Wrecking Crew, and he can join Marvel's Drax and Marvel's Claw. Here we have Thunderball. I suppose if it said, well, Wrecking Crew I suppose is also a Nintendo game, so not NES 1984, I don't know, Wrecking Crew. It's Marvel's Wrecking Crew, and it's not James Bond's Thunderball, it's Marvel's Thunderball. But look at the size of this guy. Honestly, I mean, I had to even move my camera, he was so big. Look at the size difference there. He's got this, you know, he's got his wrecking ball here. Let's take a look at that. The chain isn't articulated, apart from the swivel joint, which really does nothing, to be honest. There's no point in swiveling that. So yeah, that's a disappointment, but still the thing looks really nice, and that is really huge. I like that it's really big. It's, I don't think it's big enough, but it makes that sort of difference. This isn't like the Absorbing Man's prison chain ball. This is, you know, it's a wrecking ball. So I like that. The figure is really good. Again, he's got this, what is up with Hasbro and the belts that can't stay in one place. The abdominals look kind of funny. I don't know why, they just look like they don't fit. I would have liked the yellow to continue onto his shoulders a little, but no big deal there. Let's take a look at the face. Isn't that just amazing? Really, really nice. Well done Hasbro. Loving it. Even the ears are tidy. The eyes, the expression, just really good. Closed mouth, stern. Looking good. Yeah, really, really impressed with this figure. Loving it. And finally, of course, we have the Build-A-Figure Arnim Zola. Now, if you watched my Marvel Legends Series 1 video, you will remember that I had an immense amount of difficulty putting Drax together. Not because I don't know what parts go where, because clearly, like, the leg goes here and the other leg goes right in the front there, but because they were fucking hard to force in. But let's see if I will again embarrass myself today. Have I got that right? Yep. Shake, shake, shake. Is that it on? It's not. Okay. Oh my god. Right. Okay, well that was a little bit easier than Drax so far. Let's get his... Oh, now that was easy. Good, thank you. And another one. Good, he was much easier than Drax, but he's not done yet. He's got his little head bit to put on. Watch, this will be the final hurdle that I just cannot get over. Hurry! There we have him, our Zola, with his, what is this? Cell phone? Oh, I know what it is. I remember this. It's a toilet duck. You know, for when he's, the Red Skull's done a particularly, Nazi-tastic shit, and he just needs to get those skids off the toilet. Our name is looking pretty good. Pretty simple paint-wise. There's a lot of sculpted detail in the cloth that could really help with bringing out with a wash or some dry brushing. The legs are a slightly metallic, shiny shade, which nicely differentiates it. The purple cloth and the gold sort of Kirby-esque designs look pretty good all over. And let's look at his face, if that's what you want to call it. Now this is a, it looks like it's just something, just a paper insert or a sticker or something behind that glass. And of course on the alternate, the variant Build-A-Figure, that's the Red Skull's face in there. And his camera head. It's fairly simple, straightforward. Soft plastic, but that's fine. And his hands, I love that hand, that's a nice expressive evil person hand. And yeah, he's looking pretty good. He's not a huge Build-A-Figure. I mean, let's put him next to Thunderball. You know, the guy's not very big, but I suppose that's, you know, our Zola, the android isn't all that much bigger than a human. But put him next to this guy. See, much same size. So, you know, I'm not one of these people who, you know, while I do miss the days of really big Build-A-Figures, I'm a fan of the characters and the universe itself. So to get a character like Arnim Zola, who is so sort of oddball, is just great. And really, a Build-A-Figure would be the only way that I think most people would want to get him. I think if he was single-carded, he'd be on the shelves for looking like a, I don't know, some sort of crap 1950s disco. Did they have disco in the 50s? Probably not. A 50s disco robot. I really like him. He's looking good. He has got, you know, one of these things that I don't like about Hasbro. That every now and then they try and sneak these in on us. These Hasbros. That's a combination of Hasbro and Elbow. Elbros. That's better. Elbros. Let's go with that. But he has got the double jointed legs, knees. So yeah, he's actually fairly poseable, and certainly more than enough for the type of character he is. He's a great Build-A-Figure. Really like him. So there we have Marvel Legends Series 2. Hopefully I'll be able to pick up some of the running changes like Madam Viper and Pile Driver. I'm not so concerned about the other Wolverine, Dark Wolverine figure. And while the big time Spidey is a laugh, he might be interesting to pick up. He'll end up as a custom or something anyway, but yeah, he seems to be becoming rare, so I'll not really bother. These are all great figures, I think. bit let down by Phantom X. I know I didn't really like the character in the first place, but the figure is just a bit, some strange choices on it, with the hands that don't point the guns in the right direction, and the spindly feet. But all in all, a great series. Very happy about them. Sorry, you can't really see Dak in there. So there we have it. Again, thanks very much to Boognice for getting these to me. I was very worried that they wouldn't appear in the UK, and certainly none of the variants for the previous wave did, and that didn't bother me so much because the variants weren't that great a change from the ordinary figures. But with these guys, you know, I don't want to miss out on future Foundation Spider-Man, and I don't want to miss out on Madame Masque or Thunderball. I don't want them to just release Big Time Spider-Man and Viper over here. I mean, I'd buy them, but I do want to get all the figures, so I have to take every, you know, chance I can. So thanks again to Boog, and thanks again to yourself for watching, staying with me, and stay tuned. Comment, rate and subscribe. Thanks guys. Bye.